The free trade. Binding effect on Thailand and the integration of AEC under the ASEAN Trade in Goods Agreement, ATIGA, are as follows. Number 1. Liberalization trade in goods consists of two types of liberalization as follows. Number 1.1. Tariff elimination goods. It is a framework cooperation agreement according to AFTA, ASEAN Free Trade Area. ASEAN aims to abolish tariffs in ASEAN 6 by 2010 and 4 new member countries, CLMV, by 2015, which Thailand has done since 2010. According to the integration of AEC, Thailand does not need to reduce taxes for any additional products, especially in the industrial products, in 2015. Time frame to reduce tariffs of ASEAN member countries. Country. Number 1. The original members of ASEAN, AD 2010, 0% onwards. Number 2. The new ASEAN members, CLMV, AD 2015, 0%. Source: Center for International Trade, University of the Thai Chamber of Commerce. Tax exemption on two types of products as follows. Number 1. Sensitive products. Sensitive list, SL. Do not have to reduce tariffs to 0%, but tax reduction must be less than 5%, which Thailand has 4 items, including coffee, potatoes, dried coconut, and cut flowers. Number 2. High sensitivity products. Highly sensitive list, HSL. Do not have to reduce tariffs to 0% on rice of Indonesia, Malaysia, and Philippines, and sugar of Indonesia. Number 1.2. The elimination of non-tariff barriers, NTBs. ASEAN has made its members to reduce NTM's measure. Thailand has committed by terminating NTM's measure, which is a tariff rate quota of 3 sets of agricultural products. Thailand has products that have to be eliminated non-tariff measures as follows. NTBs Section 1. Within January 1st, 2008, covering 5 items of goods includes longan, pepper, soybean oil, tobacco, and sugar. NTBs Section 2. Within January 1st of 2009, covering 3 items of goods includes jute, hemp, and potato. Note: Number 1. The original members of ASEAN consist of Brunei Darussalam, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. Number 2. The new members of ASEAN, CLMV, consist of Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, and Vietnam. NTBs Section 3. Within January 1st of 2010 includes rice, copra, coconut oil, tea, soybean, coffee beans, instant coffee, milk/flavored milk, and skim milk powder. Time frame to eliminate non-tariff measures, NTBs. Number 2. Liberalization trade in services is an ASEAN Framework Agreement on Services, AFAS, which aims to reduce barriers to entry the market in various aspects and increase shareholding proportion to an individual/entity who has ASEAN nationality, and specified in the agreement that members must open marketplace or service according to assigned sectors until 2015 as follows. Number 1. Priority sectors include tourism business, computer, telecommunications, and health. However, there are requirements that ASEAN investors must be allowed to hold shares in the entity that provides service not less than 51% in 2008 and increase shareholding to 70% by 2010. Number 2. Priority sectors include logistics, and there are requirements that ASEAN investors must be allowed to hold shares not less than 49% in 2008, 51% in 2010, and 70% in 2013. Number 3. Other services with requirements that ASEAN investors must be allowed to hold shares not less than 49% in 2008, 51% in 2010, and 70% in 2015. Time frame of permission to allow investors holding shares in the service sector. Trade and services have identified services sector according to General Agreement on Trade and Services, GATS, based on W120 document which prepared by WTO. It has classified the types of services for 12 sectors based on UN Central Product Classification, CPC. Those types of services are: Number 1. Business services includes professional computer services, advertising, research, and others. Number 2. Communication services includes postal services, parcels, telecommunications, and audio-visual. Number 3. Construction and related engineering services include construction and installation. Number 4. Distribution services includes wholesale and retail trade, dealers and franchisees. Number 5. Education services include education level in kindergarten, primary, vocational, secondary, university, adult education, and short courses. Number 6. Environmental services include various types of decontamination services as well as sanitation. Number 7. Financial services includes insurance services, banking, securities, businesses, and other financing. Number 8. Health-related and social services includes hospitals and health-related business. Number 9. Tourism and travel-related services include hotels, restaurants, travel agents, and tour guides. Number 10. Recreational, cultural, and sporting services includes entertainment business, library, and museum. Number 11. Transport services includes transportation by ship, air, and pipe. Number 12. Other services not included elsewhere, such as beauty salon, funeral service, etc. The liberalization of trade and services in ASEAN under the Framework Agreement on Trade and Services ASEAN, AFAS, to reduce and abolish regulations that impede trade and services in ASEAN to market access, MA, and provide national treatment, NT. In addition, the liberalization of trade and services under the General Agreement Trade and Services, GATS, has divided service channels into 4 channels as follows. Number 1. Cross-border trade, or MODE1, is the transmission service by the service provider and the recipient which does not require need to travel find the other party, such as international transportation or information services through telecommunications networks, etc. Number 2. The movement of service recipient to the country of the service provider, consumption aboard, or MODE2, means patients have to travel to receive service at countries of the service provider because some services cannot be shipped across the border, such as tourism, education, etc. Number 3. Commercial presence, or MODE3, means service providers that operate business in the country of the service recipient. The operators have to invest in the establishment through foreign direct investment, such as retailing service, financial services, insurance, etc. Number 4. Movement of natural person, or MODE4, refers to a movement of people who provide services such as construction, movement personnel in an organization or private sector, counseling services, etc. For the goal of liberalization or service sector obligation in each package, ASEAN has agreed that there must be negotiated every 2 years as follows. Number 1. AD 2010 must liberalize its services in 15 sectors, combined with original liberalized sectors to be 80 sectors, which will be the 8th package. Number 2. AD 2012 must liberalize its services in 20 sectors, combined with original liberalized sectors to be 100 sectors, which will be 9th package. Number 3. AD 2014 must liberalize its services in 20 sectors, combined with original liberalized sectors to be 120 sectors, which will be 10th package. Number 4. AD 2015 must liberalize its services in 8 sectors, combined with original liberalized sectors to be 128 sectors, which will be 11th package. Number 3. The liberalization of investment. The liberalization of investment under ASEAN Comprehensive Investment Agreement, ACIA, is an agreement to improve the overall agreement on ASEAN Investment Area, AIA, and ASEAN Investment Guarantee Agreement, ASEAN IGA, in order to have scope covers under a single agreement to liberalize investment, protect their investment, promote investment, and facilitate investment by covering the investment as follows. Number 1. 5 investment sectors and 5 related service sectors include agriculture, fishing, forestry, mining, manufacturing. Number 2. The type of investment can be foreign direct investment, FDI, and portfolio in order to liberalize. Government commits to reduce/terminate restrictions or conditions that interrupted investment or will not issue new rules that are more restrictive than the level of commitment accordance with national treatment, NT, and most favored nation treatment, MFN, by liberalization to comply with voluntary and select the sector/time that are available. The only sector that Thailand has lessened condition is mining by allowing ASEAN investors to hold up to 60% as special case 3, but must meet the following conditions.
Condition 1. Thailand provides to Australia, under the Thailand-Australia Free Trade Agreement, TAFTA. Condition 2. The obligation among Asean specifies that Thailand must expand these privileges to the Asean investor as well. Condition 3. Follow the principle that Asean has always been the highest privilege.
Number 3. Investor who is a corporate entity must be registered in the form of ordinary partnerships, limited partnership, or a limited company. Number 4. The debt-to-equity ratio of 3:1. Number 5. Thailand reserves the right to issue or maintain any measure at any level of local government, must be non-discriminatory and not intended to make damage ASEAN members' reputation. Number 6. Must obtain a concession from the Department of Primary Industries and Mines, Ministry of Industry, according to relevant laws. Number 7. 2 in 5 of the directors must be Thai nationality. Sectors that Thailand was committed under the AIA agreement to liberalize by 2010 are as follows. Number 7.1. The production of flour from rice and crops. Number 7.2. Fisheries only for aquaculture 3. Number 7.3. Forestry, forest planting. Number 7.4. Propagation of plants or breeding plants, all 4 sectors as mentioned above, and specify the terms of the investment. Number 8. Foreigner can hold less than 50% of the registered capital. Number 9. If foreigner wants to hold more share, must request permission from Director of Business Development according to Foreign Business Act AD 1999, and must have been promoted under Investment Promotion Act or has received permission under the law of the Industrial Estate Authority of Thailand. Number 10. Must request a certificate from the Department of Business Development, Ministry of Commerce. Number 11. Must meet the conditions specified in Foreign Business Act AD 1999. Number 4. The liberalization of capital movement. Number 4.1. Capital market. It will strengthen the development and integration of capital markets in ASEAN by creating a consistent in the standards of capital markets in ASEAN. It creates the agreement for mutual recognition in the qualifications, academic qualifications, and experience of capital market professions. Besides, it also promotes the use of market-driven to create linkages among themselves in the capital ASEAN. Number 4.2. Capital movement. It opens to the free movement of capital more gradually by providing members with sufficient protection measures to support effects from macroeconomic fluctuations and systemic risk, as well as the right to take the necessary measures to maintain macroeconomic stability. Number 5. Skilled workers move freely. There is a management of movement, or facilitating the travel for an individual associated with trade in goods and services and investments in accordance with the rules of each country in terms of visa and work permit for the ASEAN professionals and skilled workers associated with cross-border trade and activities related to investment. Number 6. Cooperation in other fields, such as cooperation in agriculture, food and forestry, cooperation of intellectual property, development of infrastructure, transportation, information technology, energy, cooperation in mining, electronic commerce, cooperation in finance, cooperation in small and medium enterprises, SMEs, and development for initiative of ASEAN integration, IAI, and so on.